Well, hello there, two-stroke turbo fans. Welcome back to one of the best automotive content YouTube and other video format channels on the internet. You are looking at my shop dog, Stella, and she is looking at the ducks that are swimming in our slough, what we call the slough, or the creek behind the shop. It's an undisclosed location. I don't film it very much. It's beautiful and I love it. We've had some issues. You can see I've got the metal wrapped around the tree there, and that is to prevent beavers from chopping my trees down. You'd think that would be enough deterrent for a beaver, but no, they got me again. They got my big old tree. It was rotten, and I'm working on it a little bit here with the digger, seeing what to do, if I can push it around, get it out of the path. Maybe chop it up. That was a dead snag, but still, they got that, and they're still chewing on it, and they got the one that was there, and the one that's there, and those darn beavers. So, speaking of busy beavers, I am also a busy beaver, and it's hard to keep tabs on all your stuff if you got a lot of stuff. I've got this old carport hanging in there. It's had a few trees fall on it. It wasn't a great carport to begin with. These cottonwood trees are known to be crooked, and when they get old, they just fall everywhere. They're weird trees. Anyhow, I'm not going to get into it. Same tree that was here, the roots went under my shop and lifted my foundation, lifted the pad, caused a bunch of damage inside. It's not great to have trees near your shop, but I've got this old carport that came with my building behind, and it's fallen down. You can see the thing is rotten, as the metal sides are all splayed out. It's just a mess. And I've got my high school car, which is this 1975 Scirocco, underneath the carport, and I'm afraid the carport's going to fall down because it already has. You can see that beam there is split. I got to take this down before it does some damage, so I got to get that car out of here. I did a video on this car about it being my first car. I've had it for 40 years now, 45 years, something like that. It's nuts. It's the longest car I've ever owned, my first car. And I have to say, I haven't been treating it very well because it's just been stored here. It has been covered, and it still looks clean, but you can see by my rescue wagon here, I've got some starting fluid, a hot battery, and some gas. And we're going to see if we can fire this up today. I did store this about a year ago, and the mud and just being in a moist environment has not been great. You can see the rust has formed on top of the valve cover there. The alternator's all corroded. I got to get this in a better spot. I just realized a second ago that when I stored it, the choke wasn't on, so I hope moisture didn't get down in the engine. I have tried to keep this thing pickled with oil, but let's put a battery in it. Let's put some fuel in the little tank here with a fuel pump, because I think the gas tank might be a little rotten. And I'm going to check the oil. I did change it. It says August of 23, so that's when I last touched this car. August of 23, that's almost been 2 years. Wow, 18 months. Let's see what happens. So between the briars getting caught on my overalls, and I believe the battery terminals are wrong. This is positive and this is negative. I can't reach. I gotta find a different battery here. Think of them ducks. Those are the really cool ones. I think they're called mergansers. Look at them ducks. Oh, those are beautiful. Got our Honda Fit battery, which is a little tall. I can't shut the hood, otherwise it'll cross there. And I'm gonna try to turn the engine over with the alternator. Oh, it's really stuck. Oh, it moved. It moved a little bit. I think it's, see that? It's funny that I can actually have enough tension on the alternator pulley to move the engine over, but it moved. I'm pretty sure it's going to be okay, but I'm going to squirt some lubrication down the app hole just to make sure. Well, I know I said I was going to squirt some lubrication. We're just going to take and squirt a little starting fluid in the down the choke assembly. Let's see what happens here. First thing that happened is the wipers. Oh, they're so slow. Let's turn them off. They're so slow. I'm not sure, is that off or is it on? That's off. I think that's off. I don't know. Maybe they're stuck. They're really, really slow. Stay. Oh! I think it's right here. I think that's the off position. Come on. Oh, that wiper motor is old. Park. Yes, I think that's it. Ah, the wiper switch on this thing is 1 down and 2 up, I think. It's the first year for intermittent wipers on a Mark I Scirocco. Okay, so I'm going to put a little giggle juice in our lawnmower jerry can here. We've got an electric pump hooked up to it right here. This should be enough, about a ½ gallon. Okay, so let's see here. I'll turn the key. You can hear the fuel pump. I got oil light and I've got a battery light. Make sure we're in neutral. We got 12 volts. What's going to happen? Oh, it's a hard starter. That's not going to do it. We need more battery. Going to get them ducks? What do you see? Going to keep watching? Waiting for one to just like come right into your mouth? So this is not helping. My booster just broke. Okay, so we fixed our boost box. We now have the battery charging. Seems like it's doing okay. I'm going to give this one more shot here. Starting fluid up in the yapper. Doesn't backfire and catch fire. I hope we have good gas in there. Let's try to start this again. Okay, let's see what happens here. We've got oil pressure again. Battery light is off, showing 14 volts. That's good. Let's crank it over. Oh, nothing. Starter. Come on, baby. Give it a little gas. Oh, it fired. Did you hear that? It did run for a second. Now it's not going to. Okay. Okay, we got gas leaking out on every orifice on the carburetor. Oh. Okay, so the accelerator pump is leaking like a sieve, but it's getting the bad gas out of there. Oh, I don't know if I can tighten that up. Hell, the shop dog doesn't know what we're doing. We had to find another battery. This one's a bit oversized, but should have the cold cranking amps for what we need. So we swapped out the tiny little fit battery for a big truck battery, which isn't great, but it's on the booster. Check to make sure we got spark. We have points opening and closing. There is spark to the coil wire. However, as I suspected, our plugs are fouled. So we need some new plugs or clean these or something. So let's do that. Okay, so we got our clean, dry spark plugs in there. Let's put it back together and see if she'll start now. I'm going to refrain from pumping the throttle too much. I think it's flooding out. On the passenger side here, let's just see what happens. There she goes. There she goes. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, I had it. Let's try again. Okay, come on, let's try again. There we go. We're running better this time. It's the healing thing. Actually doing all right, just running. Oh, that makes me feel good. Oh. Take the choke it's stuck on. He's gripping a little bit. See if it'll idle. I don't think it'll idle. Oh, there we go. Oh, I think she'll run. Yeah, I climbed in the passenger seat. We've got 15 inches of vacuum, 80 pounds of oil pressure, and 14 volts, and I'm keeping my hand on the gas pedal. Gonna let it run here for a bit. Okay, it seems to be idling on its own. The vacuum hose is off, and as that goes, accelerator pump is accelerator pump is leaking like crazy, building some heat, bunch of smoke coming off the exhaust header. I gotta hold my hand on it or it's gonna die. Figure out how to turn the idle up. Okay, after a little fussing around, she's running pretty good. Had to lean out the idle mixture and it smoothed right out. Took off the battery charger. Let's see how much vacuum we've got. Oh yeah, so we got 17 inches of vacuum. It's got a big cam in it. We are not charging. Let's see if we can get the charge. I'm gonna press the gas button here. There we go. Now we're charging, and at a little less vacuum. Good, I'm happy with that. Let's get this thing out of this mud pit. Not smoking. Smooth as butter. Ah, it's good to have this running again. Okay, so I've been working here a couple hours trying to free my first car out of the mud and out of a structure that's basically going to fall onto it at any minute. Finally got it going, and wouldn't you know, I ran out of gas. Wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have to put gas in cars? If only they would make a car that didn't run on gas. Just kidding. Okay, let's see if I can get it out of the mud. I did it. What do you know? I got it out of that mud pit. Oh, I want to drive this thing now. Thanks for hanging around to the end of this video. Stella, my shop dog, is like, Dad, what are you doing? Why are you yapping into the phone? I'm just gonna lay down and take a nap. Let's go over my old car. One brake light is stuck on. I don't know what that's about. This was my first car, my high school car. This is what got me into being a mechanic and loving little cars. Everyone else in high school had their dad's wagon, Chevy big blocks, trucks, Camaros, Mustangs. I needed something with good gas mileage and that I could drive a lot. So this is my 1975 Volkswagen Scirocco. It's called the Mark I. Let me put the hood up. Again, as I said, I've gone through, well, I did go through, try to get the hood up. There we go. So she's sitting here running. This is a this is not a fuel injected car. It's 75. 75s have 2 windshield wipers. Oh, we ran out of gas again, which is probably okay. I'm gonna turn it off. Hands on. I had to put a block of wood here so the battery connections wouldn't short out on the hood because that battery's too tall. Came with a 1.5 liter carbureted engine. I think it had a Solex on it. I put a Weber DGV on it like that. That engine went away or started smoking. I put a 1.6 in it. I then went to a 1.7. This is a 1.8, but it has Datsun pistons in it. Datsun not 240, 710 pistons, the sedan, with total seal gapless rings, high compression. I think it's a 2 liter, or roughly it's 1995 what we bored it out to. Has a Lightened flywheel and all kinds of goodies. The transmission is a close ratio GTI, 4 close ratio gears and then a super tall 5th. All kinds of balancing, porting, polishing, but still with a DGV carburetor. It revs up like a sport bike. It also has an angle cam and an exhaust header and a super free-flowing muffler. It's been really fun. I autocrossed this car. I drove it for years. I put, I think, 400,000 miles on this car. This is my only car for so long. I commuted back to school. I can't tell you how many times. I love this thing. I've had it 45 years. I cut the top in body shop class and made a Targa out of it, hit a bump, and the Targa top flew off and a truck ran over it behind me. I think I'm going to fix that. Painted it yellow. It was sunset orange. I really like the Corrado yellow, but I might go back to the orange. And of course, bigger wheels and tires, sway bars, and all kinds of itinerations. If you look close underneath, I had to strengthen the car by reinforcing the rockers because when I cut the top, it got all wonky. Wish I never would have did that, but it's what it is. So a lot of history with this car. Thanks for hanging around. Thanks for enduring this long video. And we saved our car from our old car from the carport falling onto it, and it's a beautiful winter's day. I just had to get it out. I've been thinking about this for a while. It's probably going to get put under a tarp until it gets into its restoration queue. Someday I will fix this car and drive it again. Stella, in the meantime, is just going to lay there and look for a little scratching and maybe a duck or a goose to just walk on by. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video, and see you later.